Hi. Um, 1 in 4 adult women, which is 23% of the American population, and approximately 1 in 9 men, which is 11% of the U.S. population, report having experienced severe physical violence, for example, being kicked, beaten, choked, or burned on purpose, having a weapon used against them, etc., from an intimate partner in their lifetime. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, intimate partner violence is a serious preventable public health problem, also known as domestic violence, as physical, sexual, or psychological harm by a current or former partner or spouse. This type of violence can occur among heterosexual or same-sex couples and does not require sexual intimacy. The CDC defines 4 main types of intimate partner violence. The first type is physical violence, which is the intentional use of physical force, for example, shoving, choking, shaking, slapping, punching, burning, or use of a weapon, restraints, or one's size and strength against another person, with the potential for causing death, disability, injury, or physical harm. The second type is sexual violence. Sexual violence can be divided into 3 categories. Category 1 is the use of physical force to compel a person to engage in a sexual act unwillingly, whether or not the act is completed. The second category is an attempted or completed sexual act involving a person who, because of illness, disability, or the influence of alcohol or other drugs, or because of intimidation or pressure, is unable to understand the nature or condition of the act, decline participation, or communicate unwillingness to engage in the act. And the third category is abusive sexual contact. Okay, the next category of IPV is threats of physical or sexual violence. That is communicating the intent to cause death, disability, injury, or physical harm through the use of words, gestures, or weapons. The next category is psychological or emotional violence. This is where a victim is traumatized by acts, threats of acts, or coercive tactics. For example, humiliating the victim, controlling what the victim can and cannot do, withholding information, isolating the victim from friends and family, denying access to money or other basic resources. In most cases, emotional violence has been preceded by acts or threats of physical or sexual violence. Current research suggests that the influence of abuse can persist long after the violence has stopped. The more severe the abuse, the greater its impact on a woman's physical and mental health, and the impact over time of different types and multiple episodes of abuse appears to be cumulative. Some of the most consistent factors associated with the man's increased likelihood of committing violence against his partners are: number 1, young age; number 2, a low level of education; number 3, witnessing or experiencing violence as a child; number 4, harmful use of alcohol and drugs; number 5, personality disorders; number 6, acceptance of violence. For example, feeling it is acceptable for a man to beat his partner. Number 6, past history of abusing partners. The movie I picked, which might not have been a very good idea because the movie I picked was The Godfather, because I figured it would be good because I knew there was, I've seen it. It's been a while, but I've seen it several times. It's a classic, and there's a lot of violence in that movie, but I overlooked the fact that family meant everything to them. So most of the violence was with strangers. I was able to find a couple of scenes in the movie. The opening scene, the very first scene of the movie is where there's an undertaker asking Mr. Corleone to take care of the men who had raped his daughter. And more of the, intimate partner violence would be the scene where Carlo beats up his pregnant wife, Connie, who is very pregnant, after she receives a phone call and he thinks she's cheating on him. Thank you.